Hello my dear students, in today's class let us learn the biology lesson, that is life process. This is the 6th chapter in 10th standard. Okay, so in this lesson we are going to study about the meaning of life process, about nutrition you are going to study here, respiration, transportation and excretion. These are the main parts which are there in this lesson. So these lessons you are going to study in detail. Okay, whether it is the nutrition, respiration, transportation, excretion, it has given in detail in this textbook. What are the steps involved in nutrition, respiration or transportation, excretion? Steps involved, how does it occur, the meaning. So all these things you are going to study one by one. Okay. So before that you have to study about the meaning of life process. So life process is nothing but see, many processes are going on in our body, whether it is the circulation or excretion. So these are the processes which are going on in our body. So these processes should maintain. That means see here I have written any process which are necessary, any processes which are necessary to maintain the life in an organism. So our life exists with the many types of the process which occurs in our body. So that is called life process. So any process which are necessary to maintain the life in an organism is called life process. Okay, so that is the meaning of life process. Example, circulation, excretion, all these are the processes which are occurring in our body. Okay, now come to the next point. I told you already about the nutrition, excretion, respiration and transportation they have given. So these are the things you are going to study in detail. In the beginning, I would like to take nutrition. In the beginning they have given about nutrition only. So what is nutrition? What are the modes of nutrition? All these points comes under this. So what is nutrition? In the beginning they have given nutrition. What is nutrition? So let us see the meaning of nutrition and also which are the modes of nutrition. Just a minute. Okay, I was talking about the nutrition. Some disturbance was there, so I was talking about the nutrition. The meaning of nutrition, it is nothing but intake of food. Now, nutrition is nothing but intake of food, because food contains many kinds of the nutritions. For example, protein, carbohydrates. So all these types of the nutrients are present in the food. So to observe all this type of the nutrients in the form of the food we are taking. So intake of food, nutrition. So let us see about the modes of nutrition. Now come to the modes of nutrition. So in the modes of nutrition, so different, that means different types of nutrition. So here they have given mainly about the autotrophic nutritions and heterotropic. So autotrophic and heterotropic nutrition. You have already learned in the previous class about the autotrophs and heterotrophs. So autotrophs means they prepare their own food. You know, plants prepare their own food, so that it doesn't depend on any other things for the food. So that is called autotrophs. That means a self preparation of the food. So example, plant you can take for the autotrophs. Example. Now come to the heterotrophs. The heterotrophs are nothing but it depends on food for other organisms. Okay, for other organisms, what it is depending on other organisms for food. So in heterotrophs there are different types. So saprophytic, parasitic and holozoic. Okay, I will talk first about the heterotrophs and then go to the autotrophs, because the autotrophs are little bit lengthy is there. Okay, so once again I will explain. See here I am talking about the lesson life process. In this life process meaning I told already. So any process which are necessary to maintain the life in the organisms. So that is meaning. So digestive system is the one process, circulatory system, excretory systems. All these are the different types of the process which goes in our body. So here those things we are going to learn here. So about nutrition, so intake of the food, about nutrition I told, and so the modes of nutrition means there are two types of nutrition, that is autotrophs and heterotrophs. Autotrophs means it prepares its food self. That means it will not depend on the food for other organisms. For example, plants. Okay. Heterotrophs is nothing but it depends on the food for other organisms. So heterotrophs. I am talking about the heterotrophs here. So heterotrophs are again divided into three types. See here, I have written here, heterotrophs are divided into three types. One is the saprophytic and another one is the parasitic and holozoic. Saprophytic, parasitic and holozoic. So, what is saprophytic? Saprophytic bacteria. If you ask, so saprophytic is nothing but it feeds on dead and decaying organic matter. Okay, it feeds on. That means it depends on the food for dead and decaying matter. For example, fungus. You know, on the bread mold, you will see the fungus. No, so that one that depends on the dead and decaying organic matter. That is saprophytic. What is parasitic? So parasitic means worms in our body. So many kinds of the worms are there in our body. So that worms depend on food for shelter, both the food and for the shelter. It depends on our body. So that is called a parasitic. And in the plants also you can see many examples in plants also. Dependence of the plants. One plant will depend on other plant, or money plant depends on the pole to go up, so to grow. So it does not have the balance, that's why it will take the help of the pole or nearby things for the body maintenance. That means to maintain and to grow. So that is called parasitic. And then come to the holozoic. In holozoic, you know, herbivores, carnivores and omnivores will come. What are herbivores? So herbivores are which feeds only on grass or plants, which feeds only on plants. Carnivores means which feeds both on plants and flesh of the other animals. Carnivores means which feeds on flesh. Omnivores means which feeds on grass as well as the flesh. So these things we have learnt in the previous classes only. So this is see here, I am talking about the mode of the nutrition. In mode of nutrition, there are two types, autotrophs and heterotrophs. In the heterotrophs, again it is there are three types: saprophyte, parasite, and holozoic. Okay, saprophytes are nothing but which feeds on dead and decaying matter. Parasitic means worms which are present in our body, and holozoic means herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Okay. So this thing. Now let us pass on to the autotrophs. Okay, autotrophs, that means regarding the plants they have given. So autotrophic mode of nutrition. Now I am talking about autotrophic mode of nutrition. I will rub this so that I can write something on the board. So now I am talking about the autotrophic mode of nutrition. So that they have given in detail. So okay. So in auto means self. It prepares its food. So in what process it is going to prepare its food means photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process in which plant prepare their food. What are the ingredients required for the plants to prepare food? So here I have given the steps also. In the textbook also they have given the steps of preparation of food during the photosynthesis, or photosynthesis steps they have given. Okay. So here there are three steps are there. This is the reaction. This is the reaction of photosynthesis. See here, this is the reaction. That means photosynthesis is nothing but it is the process in which plant prepares its food with the help of the carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight as well as chlorophyll. Okay. So here glucose is prepared along with oxygen is prepared as a byproduct. Okay. So this is the reaction for photosynthesis. Photosynthesis reaction or how the plant is going to prepare the food. So at a time in one step it is not going to prepare. There are three steps. So in the photosynthesis, how many steps are there? Three steps are there. So which are those three steps means in the first step what it will do means this chlorophyll is there. No, chlorophyll, it absorbs the light energy. In the first step chlorophyll absorbs the light energy. See here, this is the first step. You have to remember. So in the first step what? Absorbs light energy by chlorophyll. Okay. Sunlight is there and in the leaf what is there? Chlorophyll is there. In the leaf chlorophyll is there. So this chlorophyll absorbs what? Sunlight. Absorbs sunlight. This is the first step. Okay. So come to the second step. In the second step, water is going to break as hydrogen and oxygen. This chlorophyll, what it is going to do means it breaks water. In the second step, breaking down of the water into hydrogen and oxygen will takes place. This is the second step. This one, first step I told, absorbs light energy by chlorophyll. Second step is water is breaking down of the water into hydrogen and oxygen. This is the second step. Okay. In the third step, what will happen? That broke down hydrogen will come in contact with the carbon dioxide. See here, carbon dioxide is required to prepare the photosynthesis, I told no. So carbon dioxide doesn't go to react with the water, but it wants only hydrogen. So that's why in the second process, water is going to break as hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. So that broke down hydrogen will be taken up by carbon dioxide. See here, that hydrogen is taken up by the carbon dioxide and the glucose is formed. Okay, these are the three steps involved in the photosynthesis. Which are the, this is very important that you have to learn. Which are the three steps involved in the photosynthesis? The first step is absorption of the sunlight by the chlorophyll. The first step is absorption of the sunlight by chlorophyll. The second down is breaking down of the water into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, and in the third step, hydrogen will react with the carbon dioxide and produces what? Glucose. This is the third step. So you can write like this. Steps you can write like this. First, second, third step. What I have written here like this you can write and explain on your own. So this is the steps they have given regarding photosynthesis. Then come to the next point. They have given the leaf. They have given what? They have given the leaf. So cross section of the leaf they have taken. Cross section. So here you have seen you might have seen this diagram, cross section of the leaf they have given. So here they have given this diagram. So here epidermis means epi means outer layer. So endodermis inner layers. Epidermis, endodermis. There in between in between the leaf there are some pores called as stomata. There are some pores are there. So that is called as stomata. So here they have given some activities also. The amount of the starch present, how much of amount of starch is present in the leaf. To find out they have given one activity, you can learn that activity. Then come to the next one, some 2 to 3 activities they have given. So whether carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis or not, that also one of the activity, or sunlight is required for photosynthesis or not, that is also one activity. So these are the activities you may learn here. So you can learn. See here, if you take the cross section of the leaf, we can find stomata here and there. Many stomatal pores are there here and there. So what is the function of the stomata means, if in the leaves, if the leaves is having excess of air, excess of water, then it will be thrown out through the stomata. Or for photosynthesis, what does it require? It requires carbon dioxide. So through the stomatal pore, carbon dioxide will go in. Okay, through the stomatal pore, the carbon dioxide will go in. How does it work? Stomata, how does it work? See here, when it absorbs the water, so the this in the stomata, if water goes in, stomatal guard cell, these two are called as a guard cell. See, the whole this thing is a stomata we call. These two are the guard cell. So the function of the guard cell is to open and close the stomata. To open and close the stomata. So here the guard cell helps in opening and closing of the stomatal pore. So when will it open and when will it close means, if the water goes inside, then the guard cell, inside the guard cell, in the guard cell the water goes and the guard cell will swell up. Guard cell will swell up when water goes in, then stomata open. Okay, the guard cell will open and makes the stomata to open. So that is the case. And if the If the guard cell shrinks, then it closes. If the guard cell swells, it will open. If the guard cell shrinks, it closes. Like that, opening and closing of the stomata help us in the movement of the carbon dioxide gas in and the excess of water out. So like that, the guard cell acts in the leaves. That information they have given here. Okay. So these are the things they have given in the textbook. Now let us pass on to the heterotropic nutrition. Till now we have understood about autotropic nutrition, and also in heterotropic nutrition you come across with the three types. So here they have started with the digestion in the human beings. Okay, they have started with the digestion in human beings. So that is about nutrition, heterotropic nutrition. So here digestion in human beings. So let us see how the digestive system will be. So the digestion starts from the mouth. Okay, the digestion starts from the mouth. So let me write here. Okay. So here are the steps I have written here. See here, the digestion first what? It starts from the mouth. So then to the stomach. I have written the second step to the stomach. In between the mouth and the stomach there will be what? Esophagus. There will be esophagus. Then it will go into the stomach. Then it will go into the small intestine. Then to the large intestine. And here the food, everything will be absorbed in the small intestine and goes to the blood. So let us see. Now these are the steps involved in the digestion. How the food will go, get digest and eject. How it will go to eject. So that is the process of digestion. Let us see one by one how it is going to digest. So digestion of food in human beings you are learning now. So the digestion starts from the mouth. So here the breakdown of the food. So what the food you are going to take, that will start breaking. So with the help of the teeth, the breakdown of the food with the help of the teeth will take place here. And in the mouth there are some salivary glands. You know, saliva will be produced in the salivary gland. So here some enzymes are there, that is called salivary amylase. So in the saliva, which is the enzyme present? So they may ask that also. What is the enzyme present in saliva? Salivary amylase. The enzyme present in saliva is salivary amylase. So what is the function of here? All the enzymes and its function you have to write one by one, so that it will be easy for you to study the digestive system. So I will write here. Okay, neatly I will write so that you will get one mind map here. So first one, it is starting with the mouth. Okay, the digestion starts with the mouth. So in the mouth, what will happen first? Breakdown of the food. In the mouth, what will happen? With the help of the teeth, the breakdown of the food will take place. After the breakdown, here it retains in the mouth itself till now also. So after the breakdown, what will happen? With the help of the saliva, what it is going to do? It is going to get digested a little bit. That means still more pieces it will make. That means saliva, your mouth contains saliva. So which produces what? Salivary amylase. Saliva contains salivary amylase as an enzyme. So that enzyme, what does that enzyme, what is the function of the enzyme? Salivary amylase function means it converts carbohydrate into glucose. Okay, carbohydrate which is present in the food, no? So that will be converted into what? Glucose. So salivary amylase converts carbohydrate into what? Glucose. So this is the main function of salivary amylase. So you have to write enzymes in the left hand, or else you can write the flowchart also. For a digestive system flowchart, if you write, it will be very easy. So salivary amylase, here carbohydrates will be converted into glucose. That is the function of salivary amylase. So these are the functions which goes on in the mouth. After the mouth, the food will go to the stomach. through the esophagus. Here, through the esophagus, it is going down. So here, in the how it is going in the esophagus. So there is a peristaltic movement. We call it as a peristaltic movement in the bolus forum. The food is going to the stomach from the mouth in the bolus forum. At a time we are not consuming this much of food, but we are consuming in the bolus forum. So to push that food in the bolus forum, there is some movement in the esophagus that is called peristaltic movement. Okay, peristaltic movement of the food is takes place in the esophagus. So bolus of the food will go inside, one after the another, one bowl after the another. It will go to the stomach, not at a time. Okay, so that is regarding esophagus. So after the mouth, where it goes, the food will go through the esophagus. So here peristaltic movement. That movement is called, movement of the food is called peristaltic movement. Okay. So next come to the stomach. So in the stomach, there are some gastric glands. What is there in the stomach? Gastric gland is there. So there are three types of gastric gland produces gastric juices. Okay, in the stomach there are gastric glands. That gastric gland produces how many types of juices? Three types of juices. Those juices are called HCl, pepsin and mucus. Okay, HCl, pepsin and mucus. So see here, stomach contains gastric gland. That gastric gland produces the gastric juices. There are three types of the gastric juices: HCl, pepsin and mucus. So all the three gastric juices function differently. So here again I will write, see here, stomach contains what? Gastric glands. Stomach contains gastric gland. This gastric gland, what it will do? It will produce or secrete some gastric juice. It secretes some what? Gastric juice. That there are three different types of the gastric juice. One is the HCl, another one is the pepsin, another one is the mucus. Okay, so here I have written, you can see. So here three types of the gastric juices are there and the function is also different. So what is the function of the HCl here? So it makes the food acidic for digestion, to help it will help the food to get digest. So makes the food acidic. The function of the HCl is to make the food acidic. So see, what you have to do is here all the gastric juices or all the enzymes you have to write, and their function you have to write on the right side, so that it will be easy to remember. Okay, or else like this you can write the flow chart one by one you can write the flow chart. So here now come to the next one, pepsin. Pepsin converts protein into amino acid. Okay, protein into amino acid. So the protein is there in the food, we know. So here protein will be converted into amino acid by the enzyme what? Pepsin. Okay, with the help of the enzyme pepsin. Next come to the mucus. This is the function you have to remember. Pepsin convert protein into amino acid. Next, mucus. So mucus helps in preventing the inner lining of the stomach from the HCl. Mucus. So mucus is secreting in the stomach, which prevents excess. Sometimes what will happen? Excess of HCl will release this HCl. So excess of HCl, if it releases, it starts burning in our stomach. It may lead to ulcer also. It leads to gastritis. So this mucus prevents the inner lining of the stomach from HCl, or else HCl will act on the inner lining of the stomach and makes it to get ulcer or gastritis we may get. So burning sensation we get. So from that this mucus will prevent, okay, from that HCl. So these are the things which goes on in stomach. Okay, after these functions, the food, what will happen to the food? The food will go to, so here the food breaks down completely, some 70 to 80%. Then afterwards it will come to the small intestine. See here, after the small intestine to the large intestine, and then to the it will eject out. Okay, sphincter, through the sphincter muscle it will eject out. So small intestine is 6 meters in length. See the word small. they have given the word small intestine, but the length is 6 meter length. But here large intestine they have given it is 1.5 meter. Okay, this is 6 meter, this is a 1.5 meter. Okay, now come to the small intestine. I will write here small intestine. Now small intestine. The food is now coming to the small intestine. To the small intestine, see here, I am writing here, to the small intestine. See, from the stomach the food is going into the small intestine, and pancreas, it is a leading. See, pancreas is connected. So to the small intestine, pancreas is connected, and also liver is connected. Liver, okay. So the liver is connected, the pancreas is connected, the stomach is connected, okay, to the small intestine. So stomach brings food to the small intestine. What does pancreas and liver do? The pancreas secretes pancreatic juice. Pancreas secretes what? Pancreatic juice. Liver secrete bile juice. Okay. Liver secrete bile juice. Pancreas secrete pancreatic juice. Okay. See here. This is the small intestine. I have written small intestine. So to the small intestine there are three glands will be three glands secretion will introduce. That means from the stomach food is going to going into the small intestine, and pancreas produces pancreatic juice, which contains an enzyme known as a trypsin and lipase. You have to remember this enzyme, okay? Trypsin and lipase. What is the function of the trypsin? It converts protein into amino acid. There also pepsin converts protein into amino acid. Here trypsin also converts into protein into amino acid. These are the enzymes secreted by the pancreas, okay, from the pancreatic juice. See, pancreas produces pancreatic juice. So pancreatic juice contains two types of the enzyme, that is trypsin and lipase. All these you have to practice. Once if you practice, it will be easy for you to understand, okay. So pancreas produces trypsin and lipase. Trypsin, what is the function of the trypsin? It converts protein into amino acid, and lipase converts fats into fatty acid, okay, and glycerol. So here lipase converts fat into fatty acid and glycerol. These are the functions of the pancreatic juices or enzymes produced by the pancreas, okay. So this one you have to remember. So I have written here. See here, the stomach is going inside, and the pancreas also leading into the small intestine. Pancreas contains what? Pancreatic juice. That pancreatic juice contains trypsins and lipase. Trypsin function, lipase function you have to write. So here I have written, you can write. So one after the another, here due to the shortage of some space, I have written like this. So you can write the steps one by one. If possible, in the end I will give the flow chart, okay. So here, so trypsin and lipase function you come to know now. So now liver. So liver produces what? Bile juice. So what are the function of the bile juice? They may ask the function of the bile juice. So liver produces what? Bile juice. The function is it makes the food alkaline. The first function of the bile juice is it makes the food alkaline, and also it helps in emulsification of fat. It helps in emulsify. What do you mean by emulsification of fat? That means larger fat molecules will be break down into smaller fat molecule, and that process is known as emulsification. Okay, emulsification of the fat is the function done by bile juice. Okay, here liver produces bile juice, and the bile juice, what is the function of the bile juice? Here it makes the food alkaline, and it involves in emulsification of fat. Emulsification means the larger fat molecules will be converted or break down into smaller fat molecules. Okay, so these are the functions will occur in the small intestine. After this, see here we have got already, see from the food we got amino acids, proteins, all these nutrients. So nutrients in the smaller sizes we got. So observable size we got. So it already has broken down, and the blood is able to suck now. So in the intestine there are some projection. There are some projections. The small projection, finger-like projections they will take. So in intestine, what is there? Finger-like projections are there, and that finger-like projections are called villi. Finger-like projections are called villi. So these finger-like projections villi, what it will do? It absorbs the nutrient and gives it to blood. Okay, the function of the villi is to absorb the nutrient and pours into the blood. So many villi are there. So in the small space, so due to that finger-like projection, it occupies in the small space. The lengthy villi is occupied here. So it absorbs the nutrient and pour into the blood. So that is there in the small intestine. So these are the functions which goes on in the small intestine. Then come to the large intestine, which is 1.5 meter in length, I told. So large intestine, so after absorbing all the nutrients, the undigested waste material will go to the large intestine. Though the undigested material go to the large intestine, in the large intestine, that means the food which doesn't require by the body, so that food goes to the large intestine. But even then, there is some amount of the water which is required by the body, that is there in that food, in that waste food. So that water, excess of water which is there in the waste food, will be absorbed by the large intestine. Okay, so large intestine absorbs the excess of water which was present. Then afterwards, the waste product or undigested food material will be excreted out. Okay, so this is the process of digestion. Okay, process, write the process of digestion. If they ask from the beginning till the end, you have to write. Okay, so once again I will sum up. See, the digestion in the human digestive system, digestion is going on in this process. So digestion starts from the mouth. In the mouth, the teeth break down the food, and in the mouth there is a saliva which produces salivary amylase as the enzyme. That salivary amylase converts carbohydrate into glucose. Then through the esophagus, the food reaches to the stomach. So in the esophagus, in the bolus form, it is going to in the peristaltic movement, in the with the help of the peristaltic movement, in the bolus form, the food will pass to the stomach from the mouth. In the stomach, there are gastric glands. These gastric plant produces what? Gastric juices. There are three types of the gastric juices, that is HCl, pepsin and mucus. So HCl makes the food acidic. Pepsin converts protein into amino acid, and mucus prevent the inner layer of the stomach from the HCl. So these are the functions which goes on in the stomach. After this function, the food goes to the small intestine. So in the small intestines, three important glands will come. One is the stomach, which brings the food. Another one is the pancreas, which gives the pancreatic juice. Another one is the liver, which gives the bile juice to the small intestine. So here only from the stomach food is coming. But in the pancreas, what I told, pancreas will lead to the small intestine, that produces pancreatic juices. That pancreatic juice contains an enzyme called trypsin and lipase. Okay, trypsin and lipase. So trypsin converts protein into amino acid, and lipase converts fat into fatty acid. Okay, and glycerol. Fat into fatty acid and glycerol. Now come to the liver. Liver produces bile juice. So that bile juice makes the food alkaline, because it was acidic. No, that's why bile juice makes the food alkaline, and also bile juice helps in emulsification of the fat. That means small fat molecules, bigger fat molecules will be break down into smaller fat molecule, that is the emulsification of the fat. These functions will go on in the small intestine, and also in the small intestine there are some projections, finger-like projections called villi. So these villi absorbs the nutrient which has come from the digestive system. So after the absorption, it will pour into the blood. So from the blood or through the blood, it will circulate. Nutrient will be circulated to all the cells of the body. So undigested food material will go to the large intestine. But in the undigested food material, there is some excess of water. So that excess of water will be absorbed by the large intestine, and the undigested waste material which does not require to our body will be excreted excreted out. So through the sphincter, through the anus part. So like this, digestion, the process of digestion is there like this. So enzymes you have to remember, and the enzymes function you have to remember: trypsin, lipase, pepsin, salivary amylase. So all these are the enzymes, and what are their functions, what it converts. So at a time, together if you write, or the flow chart if you write, it will be easy for you. As and when I explain, you go on writing the flow chart like this, one after the another, neatly. If you go on writing the flow chart like this, and so that it will be easy for you to learn. Then come near the large intestine, there is a one vestigial organ that is called appendix. That is called what? Appendix is there, which is a smaller tail-like structure it is now. But in olden days it was bigger, it seems. So this in very olden days, in the beginning, the human beings were eating the cellulose. That means the leaves they were using, and which contains the cellulose. That's why appendix was big, it seems. But nowadays we are not using the cellulose containing material to food. So that's why the appendix size, now what we are having the appendix, there is no function. So it is not functioning anything. That's why the size of the appendix become small, no function. The organ is there, but no use from that organ. So that organ is called as a vestigial organ. So here again they have given herbivores are having the large appendix. The size of the appendix in the herbivores not appendix, small intestine. The size of the small intestine in herbivores is large. The size of the small intestine in herbivores is large. Why? What is the reason, they ask. But in our body, the size of the small intestine is small. But in herbivores like cows, so it is large. Why? So the reason, you know that what type of food materials we are taking, very easily digestible food we are taking. But the cows are taking grass which contains a cellulose, no? So cellulose food materials it is taking to digest that cellulose material, it is having the large intestine. That is very important, that why do herbivores have large intestine? So the reason for herbivores having the large intestine to digest the cellulose material, that is there in the textbook, you can see. So these are the things which are there in heterotrophic nutrition, that is a digestive system in human beings. Okay, so in today's class we have learned about the nutrition. So intake of food is called as a nutrition. So in the nutrition, modes of nutrition, autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. In the autotrophic nutrition, plants will come. In the plants, section of the leaves they have taken, and in the section of the leaf about the stomata they have explained, and also some activities they have given. You can read that activity. So whether starch is necessary, how much amount of the starch is produced in the leaves, or carbon dioxide is necessary to for photosynthesis, or sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. So to prove all these, some experiments they have given. You can learn that experiment by seeing that, or they may do in the class also. So after that you have heterotrophs. In the heterotrophs also there are parasites, saprophytes, and this one I explained already about the herbivores, carnivores, and the omnivores also I explained. So after that part, heterotrophy, again I came to the part of heterotrophic nutrition. Example taken, digestive system in human beings. So I explained all the details regarding the digestive system in human beings. So you have to write the flow chart, or else it will be difficult for you. So I will write the flow chart here now. So you can write, or you can also practice as you want. You can write the flow chart so that it will be easy to learn. Okay, digestive system. Explain briefly the process of digestion in human beings. They may ask for 4 marks, 5 marks, or 3 marks. They may ask complete, or they may ask the function of the digestive enzymes, function of the enzyme they may ask. So like this, in between questions they may ask single marks question, or they may ask the whole digestive system. You have to learn the steps of digestive system, the function of enzymes, everything you have to learn. Let me try to write the flow chart of the digestive system neatly now. Okay, I have written the flow chart here. So you can learn easily through the flow chart. See here, for example, mouth. So first the food moves through the mouth. So from the mouth, so mouth, function of the mouth I have written here, then to the esophagus, the function of the esophagus, then to the stomach it goes, the function of the stomach, and the enzymes it releases, and also which are the function of the enzymes I have written, and then come to the small intestine, its function, and large intestine, its function, and finally through the anus, digested food material will go out. So like this you can write the flow chart and learn the digestive system in human beings very easily. In between also they may ask the question, or the whole process they may ask. Like this if you write also, they will give, you write the flow chart and write it in the explanation type, so that it will be easy. See here, in the mouth the food goes into the mouth, so in the mouth breakdown of the food by the teeth and the saliva will take place, and the saliva contains the salivary gland which converts saliva contains salivary gland which produces the salivary amylase, which is the enzyme produced by salivary gland, salivary amylase, that also they may ask. So salivary amylase converts carbohydrates into the glucose, and then the food goes to the stomach through the esophagus. So in the esophagus the food will go in the bolus form in through the peristaltic movement. So in the stomach, stomach produces our stomach is having the gastric gland which produces the gastric juices. That gastric juices is having three types of the gastric juices are there: HCl, pepsin, and the mucus. Pepsin is the enzyme, HCl and mucus is not the enzyme. So HCl is the secretion, so it makes the food acidic, and pepsin convert protein into amino acid, and mucus prevents the inner lining of the stomach from HCl. So these are the function, and then come to the small intestine. So the food from the stomach goes into the small intestine. In the small intestine there will be three glands will go into the small intestine. So here are the one is the stomach, liver, and the pancreas. So liver produces what? Bile juice. So stomach gives food. Stomach gives what? Food to the small intestine. So pancreas produces the pancreatic juice. So here the bile juice, are two types of the functions are there in the bile juice. It makes the food alkaline because it was acidic here. In the stomach it was acidic, so it makes the food alkaline here. So then come to the pancreas. Pancreas produces the pancreatic juice. Trypsin and lipase are the enzymes here. So trypsin produces converts the protein into amino acids. Lipase converts fat into fatty acid and glycerol. Okay. So then villi. In the intestine of the villi, there are some finger-like projections called villi. It absorbs the nutrient, and also that nutrient will be poured into the blood. So after that, after the small intestine, the waste material will go to the large intestine. Though it is a waste material, there are some excess of water is there in the food, undigested food. So that will be absorbed by the large intestine and goes back to the body. Now that water. Then the undigested waste material should be ejected out. So it will be ejected out through the anus. So this is the process of digestive system. So hope you all are understanding the lesson. If you are understanding the lesson, you can subscribe the channels. So keep watching. If you are understanding, so learn better. Okay, continue watching and continue your studies. Hope for the best. Get good marks in the exams. Okay, in Kannada medium also my all my lessons are there. So if you want tell your friends in Kannada medium to observe the lessons, you can tell, or you can click Roopa TP also in the YouTube. You will get all Kannada medium lessons along with the blueprint and notes, and also English medium classes you will get. Okay, thank you.